not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something, right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here. You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People, in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know.
This channel is harsh reality.
Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl that like going
that is
and
the
getting her
best
done.
shit fucking
You know, shopping
ever.
for dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the kids.
Shout out to Cherry for just being just easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. folks. Oh my goodness, it's good to see you guys. Happy Saturday. Oh my god. So yeah. Uh I I've been a little busy on Twitter. And honestly, like it really sucks the fucking life out of you, man. No doubt about it. Like it really just kind of just and then you just got to be like, okay, I can't with this right now. I need to take a break. I need to step back. And I'm trying to be kinder. And I got to be honest, the kinder that I am on Twitter, X, whatever, the kinder that I am on it, the more or the less of a feeling I get, So it actually pays to be kind. Do what you want, but I'm just expressing my personal experience here. And yeah, it's now I don't know if I'll stick with it. It's I'm not promising that I'm gonna stick with this. But I'm I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try. Okay, because I'm this whole glare thing for me, like I do everything I can, I try to be grateful as much as I can, logical, aware, accountable, rational, empathetic, uh resilient. Obviously I try to do all of these things, accepting, and they work, they're really good. But kindness was not in there because I never claimed that I would uh be kind to people regardless, because some people, and I still believe this, deserve to be called an asshole, and or even a cunt. So I reserve the right to call somebody a cunt when they're being a cunt. Um, but I am applying as much kindness as I'm capable of at the moment. I want to be very clear about that. I want to be abundantly clear about that. I am trying it. Okay. I am trying it. So, now part of the reason why I'm trying to do this is because I don't want to be, I've been focusing a lot of my energy on Sue O'Connell, who is a not a reporter but a commentator, excuse me, for NBC Boston 10. And she has been engaging with people back and forth, but I can't help but just call her on her bullshit every single time that she does. Eventually she'll go silent or she'll block me or whatever. But I'm doing everything I can to not be blocked by her. I'm like I said, I'm being respectful. But the thing is I can't keep quiet about the things that I'm seeing, and I can't keep quiet about the things that she said. Now we're going to do a little recap. We went over this before. I went over this and reacted to it the first time I watched it. I had Mazza Media up here, and a big shout out to Mazza Media again for joining me last time I was live. I really appreciate it. Mazza is always welcome here. He will always have a spot here anytime he wants a platform. Mazza will always have a space here because he's just awesome. And this isn't going to be your usual 3-hour live. I know Aiden Turtle Boy will be live at 9. And there's going to be, recaps of the trivia night that took place last night, which was a success. So a big congratulations to Turtle Boy and Meredith for putting that together and all their hard work in putting that together. Because when I was watching it, I was like, man, this must have taken a lot of effort and time. And yeah, it's great. So Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the super chat song.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think.
Sarah, be creative. Hi, all. Well, hi to you, Sarah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Cherry's like asshole. So what we're gonna do, just for those of you who are not familiar, we're gonna recap a little bit of what actually set everyone off. What Sue O'Connell said on Canton Confidential that set everyone off. We're gonna go over that and kind of refresh our memories here.
The table. It's been.
Oh man, hold on. I don't know why my computer is being weird with my headphones, and I don't know why. No, hello. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. I don't know why this has been happening. This happened last time too. It was really annoying. All right. Okay, there we go. Let's see.
Months
There we go.
since the trial has ended, and unless you are directly involved, most of us have sort of taken a breath and a step back rather than be immersed like we were during the trial itself. And you're laughing.
Michael's looking at me, except for me.
Have you seen her social media?
See, I find this funny too. Not funny like the way that they find it funny, but funny because it tells me all I need to know. Because if anything, this mistrial raises questions. And the fact that they're laughing and implying that, people won't just let it go and making fun of Sue O'Connell for not just letting it go. Well, there's a reason why we're not letting it go. It's because there was a major injustice that took place, a major injustice that you're playing off as though didn't happen. Now, you don't even have to take a side, but see, my issue that I'm taking, the more and more I think about this, the more and more I respond to tweets, the more and more that I think about what took place here, the more I think about the fact that they are not reporting all of the facts. That is what's really, really bothersome. That's what I find bothersome so much about the mainstream media and covering the Karen Read case. And I expected, and I'll take it, as far as like Sue O'Connell or Ted Daniels or anybody who is a reporter for mainstream media but tweets. I'm happy to hear that, as long as you're stating the facts. And if the channel won't let you do it, the channel that you work for won't let you do it, then okay, tweet the facts. I'll take that. That's fine. But as long as I know that you are putting out all of the facts, because when you do this and you are supposedly a respectable news source, well, then it comes off like, and big shout out to Aussie Insider. Aussie Insider did a review of my review of this. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. It bothers me that these people are supposed to be the ones that are supposed to be taken seriously. Now, I understand if it's just rumor that's being circulated and then you avoid the rumors. But what bothered me is the fact that they're leaving key facts out that are vital to understanding this case accurately. It's important to actually form a credible opinion, because I don't care if you at least have all the facts and you still want to say Karen Read is guilty. Okay, well, all right. I mean, I'm going to dismiss you as a moron, but I'm going to respect your right to your opinion. You know what I mean? But the problem is that I'm not going to sit here and respect anything that you have to say if your opinion is based on anything that's coming from these people right here. I just wouldn't. Why would I? Because you're failing to provide us with all of the facts. You're failing to do your job. Your job being to report on the developments of a case that you are covering, to inform your audience. But you're failing to do it. And not only are you failing to do it, I'm going to go over that, Sherry. I'm going to go over all of that. Not only are you failing to do so, but you're also doing this weird gaslighting thing where you're implying that people who are following this and are asking questions after this mistrial are somehow crazy. Now, you didn't say that, but you're going, some people just won't let it go. None of us are laughing at that. None of us are laughing, because the thing is you're downplaying this as though there weren't jurors who came forward and said that they voted unanimously, and nobody disputed this. No other jurors came forward to dispute this, but voted unanimously on 2 out of 3 counts that Karen Read was not guilty. See, this is a pretty important fact. But fine, you want to leave it out? Okay, I'm still going to criticize you for it, but you're going to leave that out. But then on top of that, you're going to act like we're crazy for asking questions when something like that comes about, because it's some shit that I've never even fucking seen. As many times as I've covered a trial, followed a case, I've never seen anything like that. And for you all to act like it's business as usual is insulting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true, and but you're also hearing it still in the air, in the public, still attention after these months. I mean, summer's usually laid back, but this trial hasn't gone anywhere in terms of popularity of chit chat.
No, I mean, I think what's
so why don't you say why? Why don't you say, okay, because I love that fucking little act that they're doing. It's so fucking surreal. They're putting on this little act like, oh my God, I'm so curious about why all the chit chat. It's so bizarre, all of the chit chat, and we'd like to get to the bottom as to why. Dude, it's in your face. What do you mean? Why are you sitting here acting like, oh my God, I'm so curious as to why there's all this chit chat still? Why is this case still so popular? Well, for the reasons that I just explained. That's just a drop in the bucket, by the way. The fact that jurors came forward and said that they voted unanimously not guilty. Let's also talk about the fact that, earlier that you had this other guy sitting in Sue's place here and says that this is a good move by the prosecution. He's trying to fluff up the fact that Michael Morrissey hired a mob lawyer for peanuts to prosecute a case, not defend, but prosecute a case. The most notorious mob lawyer, perhaps in Boston history, and we're asking questions, and somehow we're not letting it go because we're asking questions. You don't think that's a valid thing to ask questions about? It's not a little weird that the guy who we know, who you constantly fail to mention, by the way, is under federal investigation as we speak by U.S. Attorney Josh Levy's office. That just fails to leave your narrative. It just disappears. It's not there. Doesn't exist. And that guy hired perhaps the most notorious mob lawyer to prosecute a case that is unwinnable, that the evidence dictates is unwinnable. And you guys know this. You know this. You're aware of this. But you're acting like it's not a thing. You don't even have one person on your panel that's playing devil's advocate to your bullshit narrative. That's what I find fascinating. That's what makes me think that you guys have an agenda. That's when my tinfoil hat comes on. Because I don't see how professional journalists can ignore all of these facts that raise questions to all of us, and then you go, I don't get it. It's so weird. Why are people still talking about this? It's so strange. I don't get it. Dude, the bucket so far, since what I've mentioned, that much. That much. As far as why people are still talking about this.
What's been happening is you have movements on both sides or all sides. I hate to say there's two sides because there's a lot of mishmash, and people are now creating communities and cultures that have very little to do with the death of John O'Keefe, bringing justice, or
okay. She's right, but she's saying that as though those of us, and I've gone over this before, and you might hear me repeat myself a few times, but it is what it is. This mishmash that she's discussing. It's also fascinating because you're implying that we're doing these things. Now, I realize that there's a lot of nasty back and forth that takes place on Twitter X, probably on Facebook. I wouldn't know because I'm not on Facebook, but I'm sure that there's a lot of back and forth. This happens with every case, every high profile case, this happens. Okay. So to me, the fact that there's, discourse between people who have difference of opinions in this case, that's just another day at work for me. That's 9 to 5 shit for me, because I've been covering cases and I've seen this with every single fucking high profile case that I've ever talked about. So it's just part of the true crime culture. It just is. And I don't like it. And it's really funny because someone pointed out recently on Twitter, I can't remember who it was or in what thread, but was like, Will the Glairer has been calling out this kind of fuckery since he started a YouTube channel, give or take 6 years ago. I'd say it's almost exactly 6 years ago. And I thought about it and I went, yeah, I have. Most definitely. I mean, whether it's the fact is Sue O'Connell is acting like this is being encouraged by this side. No, I don't condone people calling someone, doxing someone, or calling their job. I never have. Thank you, Aussie Insider. I never have. I've never condoned doxing. I've never condoned interfering with someone's personal life. I've never condoned throwing in someone's personal life as part of your argument. I've never done that. Not to my recollection anyway. But I will call someone stupid. I'll do that a lot. But I won't sit here and talk about, oh, well, you got your kids taken away and blah, 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 blah. I don't do that shit. But I've always called this shit out. The doxing, and I've always said that somebody who takes that route in an argument usually has no argument. And I've been posting examples of it, beautiful examples of it on Twitter X. Like, it's insane. But Sue O'Connell is so misinformed that it's offensive. The words she says are not offensive. It's the fact that she takes pride, supposedly, in being a Canton resident and manages to overlook all of these things.
Or even if you think Karen Reed is guilty, Karen Reed. You know, if you're on social media, people are calling each other's names. They're criticizing the way they look. They're calling you stupid for not watching the entire every second of the trial. And then in Canton, you have all of these things happen.
See, that's the thing, Sue, is we're calling you stupid for talking as though you've watched every second of the trial, but you haven't. So yes, we're going to call you, I personally will call someone retarded, because that falls under the category of being willfully ignorant. If you are talking as though you're an expert on something, but you have not actually reviewed that something ever, well, then I'm going to call you retarded. That is willfully ignorant.
That make you feel like you're in middle school. There are multiple reports to the Canton police that people have been throwing rubber ducks in front of people's houses and in front of the businesses, the D&E Pizza, to make a statement.
Okay. Now you see how she specified D&E Pizza right there. I didn't catch that before, but I caught it now. Throwing rubber ducks in front of D&E Pizza. She didn't sit there and go, oh, people are throwing rubber ducks and then people are throwing balloons with chemicals in them. It's a mess. She didn't do that. She pointed out the rubber ducks and specified D&E Pizza. D&E Pizza.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super.
Thank you so much. Period. Full stop. Whitey ties run deep. Hank owes a favor is my only conclusion. That is my only conclusion as well. Or at least I wouldn't call it a conclusion, but it's my only working theory because it's the only thing that makes sense. It's Occam's razor. Why would a high-profile, notorious mob lawyer take a job as a prosecutor to prosecute an unwinnable case for $75K? Well, Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. I'm going to say that that's probably correct. That makes the most sense to me. I'm not saying that's the case because I don't know, but it sure as hell sounds like it. It sure as hell fits, doesn't it? So, but it's interesting that she said D&E Pizza specifically. It's interesting that she said that.
In regard of Karen Reed's innocence or having this phony currency, not real money, but just as a joke, and they're being charged with littering, they're being charged with witness intimidation, or at least being investigated for that. They might be charged. So there's just this crazy culture that
at least being investigated for the rubber duckies. Okay, you're talking about rubber duckies, Sue. Okay.
has emerged that, again, has nothing to do with finding justice for John O'Keefe's death, about investigating it. If a lot of these people spent less time on
Exactly. Now, before you say this, I'm going to say what I know you should say, but I know you won't. But what you should be saying is, instead of investigating and wasting resources on people who are leaving a symbol of the most non-threatening fucking thing in the world to express their opinions in protest, well, then, shouldn't they be trying to actually investigate and prove who actually killed Boston police officer John O'Keefe? Because the evidence dictates at this point. And Sue O'Connell, you're not fooling anybody. You have to know this. This isn't a question of opinion anymore. You're too intelligent for me to believe that you are even considering the possibility that Karen Reed struck John O'Keefe with her vehicle. I don't believe that you believe that. I think you're too intelligent. So when these people are finding the most non-threatening thing to express their grievance with D&E Pizza, and not D&E Pizza, specifically Chris Albert, you're Canton selectman, because yes, you live in Canton and you've lived there for 10 years. You take pride in it. So you're aware that Chris Albert is a selectman, correct? Just checking. We're going to revisit that thought shortly.
On social media, and less time running around with these protests, and maybe writing letters to the district attorney, writing letters and calling the governor's office, calling the attorney general, voting in the election to try and change, finding someone to run.
Okay, now you already know how I feel about that. What she ends up saying, instead of saying what I think she should have said, what we all think she should have said, what she ends up saying is that we should call or send a letter to Michael Morrissey, the Norfolk County DA, who's actually prosecuting people for leaving rubber ducks on a windowsill of a pizza business, for holding signs and standing across the street. But we're supposed to feel, oh, this is productive. Because Sue O'Connell, either you are a fucking idiot or you are a mouthpiece for Chris Albert, who is clearly under the thumb of Michael Morrissey, or the other way around. Michael Morrissey is under the thumb of Chris Albert. I don't know. But one way or the other, you are clearly a Chris Albert simp. This is undeniable at this point. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. That is absolutely my opinion based on the facts that have been presented to me. My opinion is that Sue O'Connell is a Chris Albert simp.
To run against Morrissey, if that's what you think should happen, instead of this juvenile behavior, which takes up the police time
And everything
time.
Else she says, everybody's already done and have been doing.
It's just chaos and crazy.
I'm sorry, I just can't believe rubber ducks entered into the conversation here.
We have seen it spill over into local government too. The audit of the department, you saw two people yelling at each other, a woman getting escorted out. Is that just sort of par for the course for where we are now?
Well, it is. I mean,
and right there, Sue O'Connell has an opportunity to say, yes, the woman who was escorted out, her name is Rita Lombardi. She actually ran against Chris Albert ran for select board, didn't run against anybody, but ran for a seat on the select board. Didn't win, but she ran. As a Canton resident, don't you think that would have been an important piece of news to express on your Canton Confidential show, Sue O'Connell? Instead of minimizing, allowing your colleague to minimize her and reduce her to some wacky ass old lady who went nuts at a select board meeting and had to be escorted out. Don't you think that you owe her that much respect to at least acknowledge the fact that she actually has spoken to you many times and expressed exactly what the purpose behind the Karen Reed movement is? because only a percentage of it is wanting Karen to go free. And only a percentage of it, make no mistake, still is there, but only a percentage of it is getting justice for John O'Keefe. The rest of it is trying to fix the problems in the town that you live in. She's out there fighting for you because you are a Canton resident, a proud Canton resident, Sue O'Connell. And you won't even give her the respect and the acknowledgement of her mere existence. Now, maybe Rita doesn't take offense to that, but I certainly do. Because why the fuck am I pissed off about this shit all the way in Tennessee? Why am I mad about it?
I mean, it is, as we talk about all the time on that issue in politics. This is what it is. But you have people who are taking sort of the most extreme views, showing up and making the arguments. I talk to people in Canton. I live in Canton for 10 years. Tons of people aren't going to the meetings because they don't want to deal with that craziness.
So, yeah, I love it. Because they don't want to deal with that craziness. So then you double down. Double down on your disrespect to Rita Lombardi and everyone else who shows up there and does their due diligence above and beyond as a Canton citizen to make change happen so that you live in an environment that isn't riddled with corruption. Amazing. But yet you double down and make it as though what these people are doing is somehow wrong. Expressing their First Amendment rights at a Canton Select Board meeting, respectfully speaking, during their little 3-minute bullshit that they have to fucking, and these people, they go home and they look forward all whatever time frame it takes to fucking prepare for this, and they write. And they carefully write something that is going to be just 3 minutes. No more, no less. So that they can say as much as they possibly can. So that the select board will hear them. Even though it falls on deaf ears every time. Even though the very people who pay their salaries don't get treated fairly. Don't get treated with any respect when they go to these meetings and they speak at these meetings, but you have to double down on it and say, oh, well, people don't want to go to the meetings because of those people. The fuck out of here with that. Dewey, thank you so much. She uses her history of protest and having lived in Canton to say she knows better and is better. Right. Like, okay, that's fucking fine and dandy. It's absolutely fine and dandy. If you actually showed me that you actually are aware of all of the facts. And you are showing me that. You're showing me that you're ignoring the facts. You, Sue O'Connell, are no better than Plevin. No better whatsoever. You are Boston 10's Plevin, as far as I'm concerned. You might as well be in an attic.
If they want their police department audited, sounds like a great idea. But can't you just get behind the idea that we should be embracing the O'Keefe family for their loss? We should be caring for those children who have been orphaned. If you think that Karen Reed, there are problems with the investigation, support the Karen Reed movement to try and get some investigations into the district attorney and the state police. And remember, John O'Keefe did nothing wrong, and he ended up dead.
All right, so there are several adjacent cases to Karen Reed. One of them.
No shit, lady. We know that.
Witness intimidation charges against Aiden Carney, also known as Turtle Boy. His lawyer sent a letter to the DA last month making some allegations. Michael, I know you had a chance to review the letter. Anything stand out to you, or is this just sort of par for the course for how these things work out when I'm defending my client?
Well, it's how this works out in this case, as Sue just pointed out. No, I think a lot of it is posturing. The fact is that case ultimately is...
it's just posturing. Yeah. Why don't you go over it?
It's going to need to be tried. Right now, they're fighting about various discovery that they each feels that they're entitled to get, and that the government, and they have been too slow in turning over some of that information. But at the end of the day, will there be a case there that likely will go forward? I think the answer is yes, and I think the Commonwealth will take quite seriously.
The letter, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, at least I'll say it like this, at least barely mentions anything about Discovery and it taking so long. If it does, it barely mentions it. That has nothing to do with what the letter was about. The letter from Bettero to Ken Mello and Cosgrove, that was a letter explaining we have proof that you framed Turtle Boy. That Tully, Mello, Kate Peter, and fucking LG colluded to railroad Turtle Boy. That's what the letter is about. We can prove it, and we're calling Mello to the stand. It was a letter for calling for Ken Mello to recuse himself. But they didn't mention that. Isn't that kind of important? Dewey, thank you so much. She feels irrelevant and got jealous of the attention. No truth, no justice for Officer John O'Keefe. Yeah. Thank you. Don't you think that that's important for attorneys and like expert panelists who say that they read this letter? Because that right there is inaccurate. Oh, thank you, Charlie Lynn. What was that a threat, Sue? Oh, I don't know.
Seriously, these questions about.
Oh, look, I'm right there.
Witness intimidation.
So many things to monitor as we continue to move forward.
No, and John O'Keefe, Sue, thank you so much. At the center of it, there are all these spokes that come off of it.
And justice is at the center of it.
All right, when we come back and look at what's next for the Carrie Reed murder trial.
Stay with us. You're watching Ken Confidential.
All right, so I just wanted to refresh everyone's memory on the bullshit that came out of Sue O'Connell's mouth there. And then, of course, we'll go over a couple of Twitter things here. So my first response to her it's kind of an open letter. I have a question for you, the same as you having questions for us. Because she did post, I wish I had that handy. Yeah, she did something that was really, really annoying. Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up because I'd really like this fucking infuriated me. Okay, sorry, I got to look at the thread here. Man, it bugs me that I don't know exactly where to find that particular thread. And I'm looking in her. Okay, so it should be here. Like she reposted Turtle Boy's post. It says, I was disappointed with Canton Confidential tonight. NBC Boston, Sue NBC Boston, Sue O'Connell, who I have great respect for. I did. seem to be blaming people for dropping rubber duckies while completely ignoring the blatant use of state power to charge these people with felonies because they exercise their First Amendment rights in public. We'll be talking about it on Turtle Club tonight at 9:30, and that was the other night. That was Thursday night, I believe. And then she says, except the part where I urge people to use their energy and resources in productive ways to make substantial change by replacing the people in power, like finding candidates to replace Morrissey and working to get them elected and getting meetings with lawmakers. People are already doing that. That's why people were insulted, is because people were already doing that. And then Turtle Boy says back to her, you discouraged protesting tonight because you said it doesn't lead to change. And you suggested writing letters to the DA's office instead. You can't be serious, Sue. Protesting is the most American thing people can do, and historically has led to some of the greatest social movements that have affected the most change. Writing letters to Michael Morrissey telling him that he needs to stop being corrupt. Did you bespeak when you said that, or were you being serious? Totally. Absolutely perfectly said. And I'm trying to find, there's just one thing that she did that I was like, what? Mind-blowing to me. But I guess I can't really find it. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I can't find it. But she was saying, she was like, she gave all these examples as to what to do, right? Did you do this? Did you do that? And then somebody was like, yeah, we did do those things. And then she's like, show me. Like, what do you mean, dude? Like, first of all, who the fuck are you? You know, like I cannot resist reacting that way. When someone says something like that, like after that fucking performance on Boston 10, after that performance, I couldn't help, when she said that, think, who the fuck are you? Show me. Who the fuck are you? These people don't owe you anything. You owe them. You owe them. These people are out here fighting for your comfort, to live safely. They're fighting for your community, the community you live in, and you're shitting all over them for doing so. It's mind-blowing. You shit all over them for doing it, and then you expect that they owe you some sort of proof when it's been in your face this entire time. Did Rita Lombardi not run for the Canton Select Board? Were you not aware of that? As a Canton resident, you didn't know that Rita Lombardi ran for the Select Board? See, I think you did know that. As a matter of fact, I know you know that. And you chose to ignore it and blow Rita off because you're a fucking simp for Chris Albert. Because you don't want to promote her in any way, shape, or form. You don't even want to mention her name. Why? Because she's a threat to the person you're a mouthpiece for. That's my personal opinion on what I'm gathering based on your behavior. Because you're an intelligent person, I cannot dismiss this as negligence. You're too smart. You have to know better. So then she posts this. I only have a screenshot of it though. She posts this. Over the past few months, 2 people were charged with assault. Someone hung a dead turtle outside a home. People have filed reports of bleach balloons, rubber ducks being thrown on their property. Not sure how any of this behavior is a fight for justice. I absolutely agree. Now, the rubber ducks are protest, mere protest. And it's the most American thing that you can do, as Turtle Boy mentioned in his exchange with you on Twitter X. Now, my response to this was simple. That over the past few months, 2 people were charged with assault. Those were McAlberts. Someone hung a dead turtle outside of a home. That was a McAlbert. People have filed a report of bleach balloons, and then I crossed out the rubber ducks being thrown on their property because we know who reported the rubber ducks. That was Chris Albert. Because you said yourself it was D&E Pizza. You said it on television. So, again, being thrown on their property, Mick Albert. Not sure how any of this behavior is a fight for justice. Exactly. I completely agree with you, Sue O'Connell. Way to stick your foot in your mouth, by the way. But I caught it. Don't worry. This is, I mean, now let's talk about the Ducks. We got some time. I haven't gone over the reports on the big Ducky Caper investigation. I haven't gone over those yet. I'm going to go over them. Now, I heard some of it. Like I was in Turtle Boy's chat when he was reading it and doing the German accent parody, but I was too busy laughing at the so I wasn't capturing everything that was being said. So I'm going to read this for myself, but I'm going to do it out loud here. And I'm hoping that Sue O'Connell pays attention because yes, I get that on the surface, rubber ducks being left with FKR stamped on them on a pizza shop that's owned by the Canton Selectmen. I get that. I get that that sounds ridiculous, but when you actually look at all of the facts surrounding it, there's something that's a little bit more ridiculous. Now, I also want to bring your attention before I get into that. I want to draw your attention to this, an oldie but a goodie. Okay. There was an evening where Aiden and Meredith went to CF McCarthy's because they were in Canton for professional reasons. They were in Canton to disprove that asinine theory that Apple Health is going to pick up you going up and down a hill in a car as stairs. We all know that's not true, but of course, Aiden being Aiden went to disprove it with data. Right? So when he does this, he goes to CF McCarthy's, which happens to be next door to D&E Pizza.
How's Officer Wade? How's Officer Wade? You were supposed to be a representative.
Now the person talking right there in the blue shirt and the hat right here is the owner of this establishment, D&E Pizza, and is also a Canton Selectman. Piney Woods Law and Crime, thank you so much. I turned 60 tomorrow. The duck documents are voluminous. It's outrageous how much time police have spent on this BS. Agreed. I agree. Now we're just going to refresh our memories here because this is for Sue O'Connell. This is for her benefit because I'm not sure if she's seen this, even though I believe that she has. But just in case she hasn't, I like to be thorough and I like to remind her of why people are leaving ducks on this guy's windowsill because he is the brother of Brian Albert. I don't think I need to educate Sue O'Connell or anyone else in this chat as to the family connections and history involving and surrounding the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case. We can skip all that, but this is Chris Albert, Brian Albert's brother, Colin Albert's dad, and this is him and how he's handling Turtle Boy, who he has had charged with witness intimidation because he's so intimidated by Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy is such a threat, and he intimidated him to do what? I don't know. To what? Tell the truth in court? You know, tell the truth on camera? You know, what a reporter would normally do? Sue O'Connell?
How's Officer Wade? How's Officer Wade? Why do you think the whole town?
How's Officer? He's really intimidated, by the way. Just so you know.
Wade. How's Officer Wade? How's Officer Wade? You were supposed to be a representative. This is that's the chairman of the Board of Selectmen right there. He's not a chairman. Or whatever he is. He's on the Board of Selectmen.
So they're not
It's an elected official.
I am a resident of Canton.
This guy.
An elected official, Sue O'Connell. Now, I don't know Sue O'Connell's politics, but I'm going to venture to guess that they don't lean towards Trump. Now, if you dislike Trump and you hate Trump because he doesn't act presidential and he doesn't act the way that somebody who is in a position that an elected official should behave, and that's one of the reasons why you don't like Trump, pay close attention to your selectmen, Sue O'Connell, and their behavior.
So we're not allowed in here. So I guess this is what happens. I literally got assaulted. Yeah. Okay, they're not coming to your family. Yeah. Did you get a chance to call, Kristen? Did you get a chance to call? I did.
She was there.
Yeah, cool. All right. So.
Oh, we're gonna go over it anyway.
It was pretty fun. Well, I didn't kill anyone though. I didn't kill anyone, Chris. Justice for Peter Berger.
Because maybe I should just refresh her memory. If she was there, then I'm just refreshing her memory. You're welcome, Sue.
Justice for Peter Berger.
Oh God, here we go.
So here come the police. Okay.
Step down. So you too. Step down. Step down. Who taught you myself? You look like a two. You should come over and look like you. No, because I wanted all confidence. Because when they start putting I want to be fucking confident. They don't give a shit. What did I do? I fucking live in the town.
Well, we don't need to. Yeah, don't even get into it with them. Don't even get into it with them.
How's this been going on 15 minutes now? No police still.
We'll find out. So we are filming for our own protection here.
So this is when he got assaulted.
Here she is.
I'm so sick. I'm sick of your shit.
Okay. This is what I wanted to show you. The Jill Daniels stuff is funny. By the way, yeah, that was the assault. By the way, Sue O'Connell, the assault you were referring to? Yeah. That was Jill Daniels assaulting Turtle Boy. Just so you know. Now, let me play this at a normal speed.
2 seconds. Justice for Peter Berger. Yo. 2 seconds. Justice for Peter Berger. You'll be 2 seconds. Justice for Peter Berger. You'll beat my face.
In 2 seconds, drag your face up and down this sidewalk. 2 seconds. Those were his words. That's what he said. That's what a Canton selectman said to somebody that he feels intimidated by, apparently. Who's staying on his side of the he's staying in front of CF McCarthy's. He's not bothering anybody, but he's doing his job, because if the very people that he's reporting on are acting like this and trying to intimidate him, why the fuck wouldn't he stand there and record them? Because one might argue, oh, well, he's asking for it. No, he's not. He could be wherever the fuck he wants to be. So That's a Canton selectman. Now, this is the guy who launched or used his influence to launch an investigation into the big turtle caper. Or, sorry, ducky caper, not turtle caper, ducky caper. So let's go over it. And even though I'm the one of the most likely you would expect to do a dramatic reading of this, I probably won't. I actually just want to get through it. Beginning in 2023, D&E Pizza Subs located at 618 Washington Street started to become the target of several incidents, including but not limited to harassment. Some of these incidents led to the Canton Police Department conducting several criminal investigations and continue to present day. These investigations have led to several individuals being charged criminally with misdemeanors and or felonies. As a result, one of these incidents in late October of 2023, a year ago, I began an investigation into one particular matter. This investigation later led me to charge an individual with violations of Chapter 269, Section 13A, false report of crime or police officer, MGL 268, Section 13B, obstruction of justice. D&E Pizza and Subs. Now, this is Timothy Taylor. Sorry, Detective Timothy Taylor, the Canton Police Department. D&E Pizza and Subs is a family business owned and operated by Chris Albert. His son, Colin Albert, frequents the business. Both Chris and Colin Albert are witnessing the ongoing Commonwealth versus Reed trial. Witnesses in the ongoing Commonwealth versus Reed trial. Prior to the trial commencing in 2024, Colin Albert testified before a federal grand jury. Also, prior to the trial, both Chris and Colin Albert testified before a Massachusetts grand jury. Their grand jury testimonies were given prior to March of 2024. They both appeared on the Commonwealth versus Reed witness list. Both Chris and Colin Albert later went on to testify as witnesses for the Commonwealth during the Commonwealth versus Reed trial. Now, this is very interesting. I find this very interesting because I follow a lot of crime cases. There is already 1,000 times, I could just tell by how much and how long this is, 1,000 times more effort put into this police report than when Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife and 2 small daughters. Think about that. There is more effort into this Ducky police report than what was put into Chris Watts being arrested and charged for murdering his pregnant wife and 2 small children. My eyes are hot thinking about it. On January 29, 2020. Okay, yeah. I'm going to skip all that. Later in 2023, conspiracy theorists claimed that on the night of Friday, January 28th, 2022 into Saturday, January 29th, 2022, Colin was inside of the house at 34 Fairview Road at the same time as John O'Keefe, and that Colin Albert murdered John O'Keefe. Okay. Both of these claims were completely disproven via testimony given by several witnesses. Not true. It's actually proven that Colin was in the house, including Colin Albert, who testified under oath during the Commonwealth versus Reed trial. I love how they say proven, because what was proven, now it wasn't necessarily proven, maybe it was and I missed it. It wasn't necessarily proven that Colin Albert was in the house at the same time as John O'Keefe. But the fact of the matter is that Colin Albert was sitting on that stand and he clammed up. And he lied on that stand several times, including saying he's never been in a fight before, which it didn't take long for Turtle Boy to surface at least 2 videos of him fighting. Trying to, anyway. So we know that Colin Albert lied on the stand. Okay? We know that Jennifer McCabe lied on the stand. We know that Matt McCabe lied on the stand. We know that Buchanan lied on the stand. We know that Tully lied on the stand. We know that Proctor lied on the stand. We know that everybody who has the last name Albert or McCabe sat on that stand and lied. Colin also testified he fell on his knuckles. Right, exactly, right. Right. How are we supposed to believe that? But yet, there's no talk of this coming from Boston 10. Like, at least Vinny will kind of touch on it on Court TV. At least Vinny will be like, oh, man. Oh, my God. I just want to get to the truth because I'm getting a lot of questions up here. A lot of questions. I just want the truth. What about the people inside the house? Right? At least Vinny will do that. At least. But these people won't do that. Stephanie, member for 8 months. Thank you so much. Yeah. I love it. Conspiracy theorists. Both of these claims are completely disproven. That's just not true. Both of these claims were completely disproven is the wording used here. Every witness that was present inside of 34 Fairview Road on January 29th, 2022, and later testified under oath, all stated that John O'Keefe never entered the residence. Massachusetts State Police Trooper Guarino also testified that GPS data from John O'Keefe's cell phone showed that he never entered 34 Fairview Road. Again, not true. The testimony and evidence made it impossible for Colin Albert to be a suspect in John O'Keefe's death, contrary to the conspiracy theory that Colin Albert murdered John O'Keefe. This conspiracy has led to various harassment and littering incidents, including but not limited to use of the tagline, Colin did it, stamped in red ink on counterfeit $100 bills, and the same phrase attached to yellow rubber ducks via a sticker. These incidents have led to a social media movement that has harassed Chris and Colin Albert, telling them to tell the truth, quote unquote, and they cannot duck the truth. They cannot, quote unquote, duck the truth about John O'Keefe's death, but have given testimony contradictory to this conspiracy theory. Therefore, these incidents are intended to persuade both of them to alter their previously given testimonies. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is what they're trying to say, that they're being intimidated to alter their previously given testimonies. Well, that's fair. I wouldn't say intimidated, but I'd say that they were encouraged. I'd say that they were publicly pressured to do so. And the reason why I justify this is because their previous testimony was absolute bullshit, and we all know it. So when you're pressuring someone to tell the truth, it's a little different. It hits a little different than when you word it like they're pressuring them to change their testimony. Was public pressure put on the McAlberts to change their bullshit story, to revise it so that John O'Keefe can actually get justice, so that an innocent woman isn't being crucified for something she didn't do? So, right. And it's not a threat. That's the most important thing to take out of that. It's not a threat. Colin did it. Colin did what? Colin did what? Colin won the football game a while back. Colin Colin said yes to a date? Colin did what? But they plan on taking this all the way to criminal court, to a trial if need be. Colin did what? Because I personally have never accused Colin Albert of murder. I know I have never done that. I could say that with my whole fucking chest. I have never accused Colin Albert of murder. I've accused him of being a liar because we have evidence that he's a liar. But I have not accused him of being a murderer. I still stand on the fact that I don't know what happened inside 34 Fairview Road. I know that John O'Keefe went inside that house, and I know that whatever happened to him happened inside that house, but I don't know who's responsible directly. And I claim that to this day. I have never outright accused anyone of murdering Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Right. And it goes on to say, look, these incidents have led to a social media movement that has harassed Chris and Colin Albert, telling them to tell the truth, and they cannot duck the truth about John O'Keefe's death. Right. Tell the truth. That's not intimidation. Because it was never proven that they were telling the truth. As a matter of fact, it was proven that they were liars and that they sat on the stand and lied. That was proven. In July of 2024, the trial ended in the jury being deadlocked and mistrial being declared by Judge Beverly Cannoni. Therefore, this is still an ongoing matter that has not yet been fully adjudicated, and a new trial is scheduled to begin in January of 2025. Chris and Colin Albert are both expected to testify as witnesses for the Commonwealth in this next trial as well. The investigation, as further described below, has been an ongoing investigation for approximately 6 months. So this gives you an idea of how old this is. It has letters of preservation. Oh, shit. Hold on. It has included letters of preservation, the execution of search warrant surveillance, which included my own observation of several crimes committed, witness statements, some of whose identity is otherwise being withheld at this time due to fear of retribution, similar to that of what is further described throughout this investigation. On Wednesday, March 6, 2024, first documented incident at approximately 4:30 p.m., the Canton police received a report of counterfeit $100 bills being littered in the area of the intersection of Washington Street at Revere Street. This location approximately 100 yards from D&E Pizza and Subs. Now, before I continue this, does anybody have a picture of one of these $100 bills? I have not seen one. And I'd like to know if it's actually a counterfeit $100 bill or if it's just clearly play money, clearly nothing that anyone would ever actually expect to pass off as real, because that's what I consider to be counterfeit. When you state things and word them as like a counterfeit $100 bill and it's fucking monopoly money, I think you're laying it on a little thick, no? Right. So it was play money. So I just wanted to get that for my own peace of mind, that this is being worded as there's, I mean, they're trying to paint this picture like not only is there a rubber ducky ring, but there's also a counterfeit ring behind it. A counterfeit ring that is financing this rash of rubber duckies being left everywhere. You can't with this shit, dude. And for Sue O'Connell to actually focus on the fact that someone left a rubber ducky on a fucking on the outside of a public pizza place. Now it's privately owned. I get that. What I'm saying is, I mean, it's a fucking rubber ducky, dude. You know, walk by a Jeep and tell me that there's not a fucking dude. There's a fucking culture. This is how non-threatening a rubber ducky is, bro. There's a culture with Jeep owners. And Sue O'Connell, you may know this already. There's a culture of Jeep owners. And what they do as kind of a nod, like, hey, cool Jeep, I got one too, kind of thing. What they do is they leave a little rubber ducky as a gift, as a tribute. From one Jeep owner to another. They pass these things along amongst each other. And it's pretty cool. I can't think of a more peaceful, cool, non-preachy, just fucking dope, man. It's like, okay, well, we all like Jeeps, man. We love Jeeps, and being a Jeep owner is a culture. It's absolutely a culture. They like to, they have online groups, like Facebook groups, and then they meet up, and then they go mudding in the mountains and shit. You know, it's cool, man. And within this culture, they leave little rubber duckies. Somebody sees a Jeep and they go, hey, cool Jeep. And then they leave a little rubber ducky on the hood of their car. And then that person usually will put it in their dash. And the reason why they don't get over flooded with rubber duckies is because they pass it forward. They pay the rubber ducky thing forward. It's a cool little thing, man. And you actually sat up there on your fucking platform with a straight face and criticized people for doing that. And not criticized the fact that there's an investigation into it, that resources are being spent to investigate the big rubber ducky caper. Dude, I will never forget the image of Sean McDonough laughing his ass off on his channel going through the motions. I will never forget Sean on the Gulf talking about the rubber duckies months ago and cracking the fuck up. Think about that. Think about a retired DEA agent and how he feels about resources being used to investigate rubber duckies. You'd think it might make him mad, but he went past mad. Like, mad and then fucking hilarious. It's just fucking hilarious. There's no other way to look at it except it's fucking hilarious. It's the stupidest shit in the fucking world. You have to laugh at it. Because if you don't get mad about it, you laugh about it. Because there's nothing you can do about it. So you might as well laugh. You might as well laugh. Use your platform to make fun of the fucking idiots that are wasting police, law enforcement resources to investigate someone. Dude, look at the effort put into this goddamn report, man. Are you serious right now? Look at this shit. I mean, because they're really trying to get that conviction. Look at this shit. It goes on and on and on, dude. Listen to how they word that shit. This investigation, as further described below, has been an ongoing investigation for approximately 6 months. It has included letters of preservation, the execution of search warrants, surveillance, which include my own observations of several crimes committed. witness statements, some of whose identity is either otherwise being withheld at this time due to fear of retribution, similar to that of what is further described throughout this investigation. Okay, yeah. Fear of retribution from who? The Ducky Bandits? Fear of retribution from who? The people wearing pink? And are leaving rubber duckies places? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Look at this shit, man. This shit's so serious too, dude. It's so serious, bro. On Wednesday, March 6, 2024, first documented incident. At approximately 4:30 p.m., the Canton police received a report of counterfeit $100 bills being littered in the area of the intersection of Washington Street and Revere Street. This location is approximately 100 yards from D&E Pizza and Subs. Upon officers May and McDonald's arrival to the area, they were handed approximately 20 counterfeit $100 bills in an envelope that had Justice for BPO John O'Keefe number 2490, last watch 2/29/2022, stamped on the front. Additionally, Colin did it, in all caps, in quotations, was stamped on the back. According to the witness that provided officers with the envelope containing the counterfeit money, they stated the incident occurred at approximately 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Further investigation by officers for video surveillance cameras at the area yielded no results. Later, upon examination of the counterfeited money, I took note of the fact that the date of 2/29/2022 was incorrect. John O'Keefe's date of death is 1/29/2022. Like, listen to this guy, bro. He's so fucking serious, dude. I took note of the fact that there was a typo on the play money. What? Unreal, bro. On March 13th, 2024, second documented incident at approximately 2:44 p.m., the Canton Police Department received another report of counterfeit $100 bills that were littered in front of D&E Pizza and Subs located 618 Washington Street. This area can easily be observed by anyone inside D&E Pizza and Subs. Lieutenant Gallagher arrived on scene and stopped traffic to collect the counterfeit money. The bills located by officers in the area were the exact same counterfeit $100 bills that were recovered by officers on March 6, 2024. They displayed Justice for BPO John O'Keefe number 2490, last watch 2/29/2022, stamped on the front, and Colin did it, stamped on the back. The counterfeit 100 bills were collected by officers on scene and brought back to Canton Police Department. Upon closer examination of the counterfeit $100 bills, the two in the month portion of the date 2/29/2022 had been removed. Holy shit. Like, dude. Like, are you kidding? I love this shit. This guy's like, this guy is straight up looking at this shit like it's the biggest caper of all time. He's got a fucking magnifying glass, and he's like, I'm gonna catch the bastards who did this. Shut the door. The two's been changed. Fucking kidding me, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? Gary Titus, what's up, buddy? How's the chemical balloon investigation going? Very little in this town makes sense anymore. Our forefathers are rolling in their graves. Agreed. It's good to see you, buddy. Dude, I mean, am I wrong, bro? Like, upon further inspection, the 2 has been changed. What? Like, are you kidding me with this shit? But you had you fucking brained up fucking red Solo cups to collect blood in? This is incredible, dude. Robin G gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Oh my God. All right. All right, I'm going to get through this as quickly as I can. Now I have to do it in that voice because it's just it's a must. On March 13th, 2024, second documented incident. At approximately 2:44 p.m., the Canton Police Department received another report of conduct. Did I already read that? Yeah, I already did. On Saturday, April 6th, 2024, third documented incident. I was working as a detective from 7:45 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. It was dark and it was cold. The kind of cold that my bed feels every time I think of my ex-wife. Bitch. Following my 7:45 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. shift, I continued working as the officer in charge, OIC, for the 3:45 to 11:45 p.m. shift. At approximately 3:25 p.m., I was made aware of a call the Canton Police Department received in regards to littering in the area of Richard Lewis Formal Wear and Kevin Michaels Men's Fine Clothing located at 626 Washington Street. As noted in Officer Pasquarelli's report, the items littered were counterfeit $100 bills that were stamped with justice for BPO John O'Keefe number 2490, last watch 2/29/22, stamped on the front, and Colin did it, stamped on the back. In addition to the prop money, $100 bills were yellow rubber ducks that had a sticker on the bottom that stated Colin did it. Officer Pasquarelli noted that those bills were littered along Washington Street from Washington Street at Revere Street intersection all the way to the Washington Street at Boulevard Street intersection. Now, I got to point out, I'm aware of the fact that I'm aware of that.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Leah Baker, thank you. Did Sue O'Connell forget that writing letters to Morrissey could land you with witness intimidation? Sure, Sue, sure. We'll get on those letters. Exactly. Yes, I made that very same point. I totally agree. No, you don't, Cherry. Stop it. And people, let's all take a moment real quick and wish Cherry a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Cherry. Happy birthday. I love it. Yes. Cherry. It's always Cherry's birthday. Always Cherry's birthday. Volcano Joe, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I used to babysit for Officer Pasquarelli. Nice. Thank you for becoming a member, for being a member for 4 months. I'm just a girl of the world, gifted 5 memberships. Right on. Thank you. Cherry also loves cheese. So cheese emojis, guys, please. Cheese emojis in the chat. Cherry is just a glutton for cheese. Like a glutton for cheese. Now, I have to point out before I interrupted myself with the super chat, and I can't believe that I'm picking up from that thought. because normally that thought is gone by now. But I have to point out that, oh shit, I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. That I am under the understanding that Paul Revere, that Canton is the street that Paul Revere ran through and screamed, the limeys are coming, the limeys are coming, Cherry. I believe. Oh, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Ernie Birdie, I'm sorry that she did that. Cherry, don't be a scrub. Okay, don't go timing people out. Come on, be a sport. Stop it, Cherry. Stop timing people out. Please. Sidebar Grill gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Yeah, so yeah, you're stop it. So yeah, Paul Revere. And I'm guessing this is just a shot in the dark, but Revere Street is the street probably where Paul Revere rode down and screamed, the British are coming, the British are coming. Right? I mean, and on the very street, Sue O'Connell, where Paul Revere rode down and warned us all, gave us the heads up. It gave us the heads up that led to a war that led to your freedom of press. And there are resources being used in this very town, on that very street, to find out who left rubber duckies and Monopoly money with stamps on them. But you're a proud Canton resident. I love it. I love that you're such a proud Canton resident. I mean, I would be a proud Canton resident too. I would be, until I heard that shit. And then I'd be getting with Rita Lombardi about what can I do? That's what I would be doing. Diane G, thank you so much. I think we got a birthday chat. Oh my God, we do got a birthday chat, I think.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Charlie Lynn, thank you. Exactly. So many people made the ultimate sacrifice to gain the rights we have now, and these imbeciles are squandering them. Exactly. I completely agree. And there was a comment here. I probably lost it here, but I liked it. Yeah, this one. Paul Revere would be arrested for witness intimidation if he were around today. Think about that. That's not even an exaggeration. It's meant to be facetious, but it's 100% true. Like, there's no reason to doubt it anyway. Paul Revere would be arrested for witness intimidation. The Canton that exists today is not the Canton that was our forefathers' dream. The America that was conceived in Boston, Canton is not living up to it. The irony in that is overwhelming to me. Think about that shit. And just, it's mind-blowing that Sue O'Connell isn't as angry about it as anybody else. I mean, God save the Commonwealth. I agree. Thank you, Charlie Lynn. I agree. Okay, thank you. Yeah, somebody told me it was Canton. I mean, I don't fucking know. But even still, it's still, I mean, I've seen the history in that town. Paul Revere had a cotton mill in Canton. Okay, thank you. A copper mill in Canton. Thank you so much. See, you guys are awesome. See, this is always a learning experience for me, and I love that. She has to have been gotten to. I mean, that's my opinion anyway, Scott, because I'm why wouldn't I have that opinion? You know what I mean? At this point, why wouldn't I have that opinion? Like, she's too smart. You know what I mean? Now, here's what I'm going to do, folks. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open the phone lines. We're going to take a few phone calls till 9. We're going to wrap it up. Now, I'm going to revisit this report because it's fucking, I can't even believe it. So I'm going to revisit that report and we're going to read it. Don't worry. We'll do it tomorrow, probably. And I'll go over the whole thing. So I'll take a couple of calls and then we'll wrap this up. I mean, Andrea Healy, that's the simplest way of putting it. I think she's a hater and big mad that Turtle Boy blew up. That's the whole thing is Turtle Boy is a threat to mainstream media reporters. He's a threat. He can say, he can investigate and print whatever the fuck he wants, and that drives these people crazy.
Call from
Gary Titus.
Gary, what's up, my man?
How are you, Will?
Yo, Gary Titus, guys. Yo, real quick, I got to give you.
Thank you so much.
I met you, Gary, during the Karen Reed trial when I stopped at in Canton and had a water with lime that I ended up squirting in Street Squirrel's eye before we went to see 34 Fairview. And it was a real pleasure. You really stuck out in my mind. Rita introduced us and referred to you as the real mayor of Canton.
I'd consider running for mayor of Canton right now. I'll tell you, I think I could do a pretty good job.
I think you would. Yo, type a 1 if you'd vote for Gary. If you're a Canton resident and you'd vote for Gary, type a 1 in the chat, guys.
You know, at the time I mentioned that I'm kind of laying low, but boy, with all the stuff going on, it's just you can't lay low anymore. This whole thing with the Ducks is just incredible. Richie Shifter is just such a nice guy. He's put it out there. He's explained it. He said, he's made mistakes, but his heart is in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's just that I got to point out that you just to give people a little context, I didn't bring you up because you told me at the time that you wanted to stay low key, and I absolutely respect that. And I understand it because you're a former radio personality.
I've had a good career around Canton as a disc jockey, and I did radio, and now I'm a justice of the peace. I can marry people in Canton now.
Right on. I think I can too. Actually, I went online and became a minister of dudism. But that's not the same thing.
Yeah, there's so many people that that there's a pack of great people that are going to and doing all the standouts and everything like that. But I've got family things and reasons I won't go and stand out all the time because I've been basically asked not to by members of my family. They worry about the other members of my family.
Sure, of course.
And I know that people understand that.
And
but,
you made me aware of an incident when we met that I'm not going to repeat unless it's something you want to talk about. But you made me aware of an incident, and I was just like, Jesus. And then it wasn't until, I mean, I believed you, of course, but at the same time, there's doubt that somebody would, in that position would do something like that. And then I later on, it made a lot more sense, and I was just like, Jesus, that's what's going on in this town. It's insane.
It is insane, and he has certainly followed with many more incidents like that.
Wow.
Oh yeah. We were fairly friendly, around the 2020, and talking politics online. Eric Digilao, another guy. We would have great political conversations, and we were on different sides and everything like that. But we had civil conversations, and I voted for Chris. And gosh, for him to come at me one day in front of Dunkin' Donuts and just blast me. He just went on a verbal rant, and
what a cliche asshole too, to do it in front of a fucking Dunkin', dude. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like,
well, anyway, the only thing I could think to say is, you're in my prayers. in your prayers, if you didn't have that cane with you, that was the threat. And I went home and I sat on it for about 15 minutes, and I said, no, I don't like this at all. So I went down to the police station and filed a report. And and
a lot of good, I'm sure that
took a couple weeks. Well, it took a couple weeks for the report to come out, and I did file it with with the town manager and said, look, do with this what you want, but it happened. And
right. At least it's on record.
I didn't deserve this. I also go to a gym where a guy who I've always thought was a great guy, goes to, and he's a, Canton police officer, doesn't even speak to me.
Jesus.
I mean, doesn't speak to me. And it's just like, are you kidding me? You can't have a difference of opinion? I'm one of 903 people that voted for the police audit because I had questions. I had concerns.
Right.
And, and there are people just like me. The line is 2 miles long. They will, they'll use the keyboard to say things, but they will not go and stand out because of, things going on in their life, that say, I probably shouldn't do this. But thank God for the people, who do. Dennis and his wife, and Eric and Whitey and everybody that does. I just respect the hell out of them. Rita, I don't agree with everything they say, but I appreciate what they do.
Right. I'm one of those people, man. I'm teaching myself, and I've been going through this for a few years now, where I'm teaching myself to find the blessings in everything, Yeah. And I think meeting you and the other gentleman that you were with at the waterfall that day was definitely a blessing, because I was a little nervous about being at the waterfall, after talking about it and knowing everything about it. I was a little nervous, even though I had a lot of support around me. I was a little nervous about being in there. Just the place gave me.
I will tell you something.
And
I will tell you something.
You made it feel like home, and everybody else made it feel like home. And then I went up to the bar, and there was an Irish gentleman sitting there who recognized me, and he made me feel at home. And it was incredible. You were like, my impression of you stuck with me as a very, very definitive part of my first impression of Boston.
Well, I appreciate that, Will. And it was a real pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry I didn't get out this past time to meet you, but I'm sure down the road, with what's going on, we'll get a chance to meet again.
Yeah, no, and I look forward to it. I think you're I think that you're great, and I think it's real brave of you to stand up, considering all of the. Because I think that probably one of the reasons you're getting a lot of, harassment that you're getting is because you're so well respected, and people are going to listen to you. And that makes them feel threatened.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but nobody deserves to be, treated,
Of course not.
unkind.
No, of course
Nobody deserves to be treated unkind. Everybody has an opinion here, and and I'll give you my quick opinion on the select board meetings. I mean, the select board should get back to meeting in person. They should read the rules, and people should speak for 3 minutes and then sit down, because everybody that speaks in favor of whatever they're in favor of is more important inside the room than they are outside the room. So, you hate to see anybody get escorted out the door but speak for the 3 minutes and get as many speakers up there as you can and go on.
Yeah. Did you happen to catch the Sue O'Connell stuff that got everybody?
I didn't, in fact, I want to look it up, and hopefully somebody can, some of my friends listening can text me or message me and give me something to read, because I haven't. And I've known Sue O'Connell since the disco days. She worked at Kiss 108, and I've always gotten along with, Sue.
Right on, man. That's wild. I'm just picturing the two of you just rocking out to You Should Be Dancing.
Well, what's funny is I got a job at a nightclub, as a disc jockey, and then 6 months later, Saturday Night Fever came out, and I just rode the wave, and I've been very fortunate. So many people from Canton have used my services, so I would never want to do anything to let them have an unfavorable opinion of me. But if they do, they do.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, all I can do is just be up here and be myself, and either you like it or you don't. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you. And I know what I believe in. I realize that my way can be a bit abrasive, but I'm built the way I'm built, and for me to be passionate about something, I have to be honest in my expressions, and so I do so, and it's take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
Well, you do a good job, and I'm glad I tuned in tonight. I went to an AA meeting earlier, and I came home and I turned you on, and I'm glad I'm here.
Right on. All right. Yeah, I'm glad that
buddy,
glad that you called. This is the best call that I could have hoped for, honestly, opening up the phone lines. Again, blessings, man. I believe things happen for a reason, and you're the call that got through as soon as I opened the phone lines when I didn't even plan on opening the phone lines. So,
well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad to talk to you.
I'm glad you called. Thanks a lot, Gary.
Hey, all the Canton people in there that are out there, at the standouts, thank you for what you do, and you've got my support.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gary.
I'll talk to you again.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, brother.
Gary Titus, y'all. Oh man, that dude is such a nice guy. Seriously, man. He's so cool. Yeah, the phone line's still open. Somebody can call in now if you want. Everybody just kind of like left the phone alone out of respect for Gary. I love that. That tells you something right there. That tells you something. That's a man that demands respect. Incredible. But I could take one more caller, guys. Disco Duck. Yeah, I'm picturing Sue O'Connell like like cutting a rug.
Call from
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
This is Catherine. I talked to you the other night.
Hi, Catherine, who talked to me the other night.
How you doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just want to thank you. You made me feel so much better the other night when I talked to you.
Oh, right on.
I just want to thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
So I'm not going to stay on the phone too long. But like I said, thanks for everything. And you were really nice. And I do appreciate it.
Right on. Anytime, Kathy. I'm glad you called. Thanks for watching and thanks for calling in.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, I could take one more call, guys. One more call. That was very nice of her to make that effort and call just to say that. It was really nice.
Call from
Gina.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, well, this is Gina. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Gina. How are you?
Oh, you know what? I'm doing okay.
Right on.
Yeah, you remember me, Will? Gina from Canton.
Gina from Canton. I remember conversations better than I remember names.
Okay.
Even faces.
Yeah, you know what? It's okay. Well, hey, this NBC. What's her name?
Sue
there?
O'Connell.
Sue O'Connell. Oh my God, what is the deal with her mentioning the friggin' rubber duckies and not the toxic balloons? This pisses me off.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she brought it up on Twitter, but even still, it was like you're sitting here trying to criticize and say it's both sides, and it's really not. Like, I mean,
right.
I mean, technically, is the other side saying things? Is the other side doing rubber ducky things? Are they standing out and holding signs? Sure, of course, but they're not doing anything wrong. That's not the same thing as throwing chemicals on someone's lawn. It's not the same thing as sending threatening letters.
Exactly. And you know, the chemicals on the lawn. I live 2 doors down from one of those people, one of those victims, and I have yet to get a knock on my door to see what my cameras picked up. 2 doors down, Will.
Wow.
That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. You know, it's very frustrating. And you know, and I've tried to keep silent for a very long time, and because I got to do business in town, you know.
Yeah.
But I can't keep silent any longer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's push came to shove.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I just wanted to say that I am a Canton resident, and I think it is so sad that they're spending my tax dollars on rubber duckies instead of toxic balloons.
Right. Agreed.
There you go. All right. Well, you have a good night.
All right.
And we'll talk soon.
You too, Gina. Thanks for calling.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That's it, folks. No more calls. Yes, absolutely. Free Turtle Boy. Speaking of which, Turtle Boy is going to be going live in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I will go over the rest of those of the Ducky reports. I will be going over them soon because now I'm invested. Unbelievable. So yeah. Sue O'Connell, I mean, we see you. That's all I'm saying. We see you. It's pathetic, really. You're not fooling anybody. But anyways, guys, you guys are fantastic. I'm really grateful for all you guys. Thanks for liking the stream. Make sure to hit the like if you haven't already, and make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And if you're a new subscriber, I really hope you're enjoying the channel, and I'm grateful to you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for all the support. I do love you guys very, very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.